What's happening, people? This is the Lions Roar vlog. We are getting into the books of Adam and Eve. We are on chapter 4. Chapters 1 through 3 is posted in the video that's these are in a playlist. So if you're finding this video outside of the playlist, you can go on my page, on my YouTube page, the homepage. It'll be in a playlist, and it'll say chapter, books of Adam and Eve, chapters 1 through 3. Okay. And then you'll see this one. It'll say 4 through however, because these chapters are fairly short. So that's why there's going to be multiple read in the same video. So you're going to definitely need to make sure that if you want to keep up here, you're going to have to watch the videos, because you're not just going to be able to just watch it in little pill forms like that, because they would be too short. Maybe a bunch of shorts would have kind of been cool, but I didn't want to do it like that because there's a flow to this thing. And that's just how I wanted to do it. I didn't want to like pump all this stuff into a bunch of different videos. It's easier to just like listen to multiple chapters in one if you can. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into chapter 4. Chapter 1 through 3 is posted. Go find a video for it. We're going to go ahead and keep pushing. If you start listening from here, you're going to miss a lot of information. Go find it. If you're new, if you are returning and you haven't yet, hit that subscription button. I am here for the long haul. We are about to really dig in and go into some things. And we're going to really open up some dialogue and really figure out what we got going on with this whole Bible, Christian, Spirit of the Most High, Black Hebrew, Israelite, Hebrew, all that, chosen people, white Jesus, black Jesus, all that. We're going to get into all of it. All the stuff they try to hide from you, told you that is not true, or that, don't pay no attention to it, and all this different stuff, only pay attention. We're going to get into all of it because the Spirit of the Most High wants that to be the case. Okay? So, chapter 4. Adam laments or cries or weeps the changed conditions. He's regretful. Adam and Eve enter the caves of treasures. Okay, let's go. Verse 1. But Adam and Eve wept for having come out of the garden, their first abode, where they first lived, their first home. They are away from their first home. They are moving into a new realm, okay? New place, new understanding, wherever they're going. And indeed, when Adam looked at his flesh, that was altered. His flesh was altered. So now his body has changed. What does that say right there? Let's look at it one more time, because if you go back and listen to my first 5 chapters of Genesis, I literally talk about how I think they were in a different point in their evolutionary process when they were in the garden versus when they started to travel upon the world, or the earth, if you will. Like, as far as like what we just got done reading in the previous chapters of the books of Adam and Eve, how they went from this beautiful lush place with this beautiful like see-through clear, super crystal clear, purified water, to now all of a sudden, boom, the desert. Okay. So he saw that his flesh, it was altered. It changed. Molecularly, they changed. He wept bitterly, he and Eve, over what they had done. Man, that gotta be some junk right there. You just think about it. You know for a fact that you just had the best thing going, and you literally screwed it up, and now you have to be moved far away from it, farther away until it's not there anymore. Or even when you're on your way out, this beautiful tree, which they were probably going to get access to at the proper time, you see withered, and now it's gone. And why would it be withered and gone now? Because they weren't supposed to interact with it at that point. And the spirit realized, like, oh man, what are y'all thinking? Now it's hitting them when they're away from the thing that was higher for them. Now it's hitting them. Now it's starting to sink in. So it says they had wept bitterly over what they had done, and they walked and went gently down into the caves of treasures. And as they came to it, Adam wept over himself and said to Eve, "Look at this cave that is to be our prison in this world, and a place of punishment." I'm going to say right here, when we read this, if you don't see the parallels of how jacked up, like messed up things, sin and messed up, like negative mindset energy will do you, man, you got to see the parallel. Like, you know better. What are you doing? I told you not to, I told you not to do this. So now you're gonna watch everyone else have fun and be cool, and you're gonna sit back and not be able to do it, and it's gonna burn you. Punishment. And that's not what happened with the Adam. I'm just saying, that's a layman's term sort of a thing. Like, that's deep. It's very deep right here, right? This punishment that I now have to face, and why do I? And it's messed up, but like they don't have no other choice now, and it never had to be. So now they really feeling it, and they're close. You gotta understand, they're close to what no other human has ever known, but them, really, for real. That's deep right there. So they lost that. What is it compared with the garden? What is it narrow? What is its narrowness compared with the space of the other? Wow. See, so they knew a different. So there you go. And even if that is a state of mind, they're saying, look how confined we've become now, and think about how great we were before. They named the animals. That is a mind right there. And then to be so constrained, they knew, they would have known. So even if it's state of mind, state of being, state of energy, consciousness, spirit, they would have known. But if it's literal, which we can kind of, like what I said, if it's the manifestation of the Holy Spirit, or the Spirit of the Most High coming into existence and thrusting life forward, it makes sense that it's this crazy lush garden that they didn't have access to anymore. Because why? Once the Spirit withdrawn itself, then it's gone, and they don't have access to it anymore. And that's what it's saying here, and that's why they tripping, right? So let's keep going. Or they can't get back to it. Okay. So what is this rock by the side of those groves? What is the gloom of this cavern compared with the light of the garden? See, okay. Now we got to look at picturesque. What is the gloom of this cavern? What even Plato, the allegory of the cave, Plato compares the cave to ignorance and darkness. Okay, if you know that, go look up Plato's allegory of the cave. I'm not going to get into it here. It's really good. It tells the story of the Matrix. It tells the story of saving man who don't understand that they need to be saved, and they can literally walk about that thing and they won't, because they're so used to being in prison. It's a cavern. It's a cave. It's a prison. Okay. So it says, what is the gloom of this cavern? So again, if we're talking mindset, let's just say, like, if we're talking state of being and not literal, it makes sense. Let's just go ahead and go out on a limb and say we're talking about both, because you could literally say both, and even of the heart, of the spirit, right? 3. It makes sense. It would line up. It would be parallel for sure. So what is this gloom of this cavern compared with the light of the garden? The light of the garden, the light of consciousness, the light of the higher, what we knew we were, right? What, or the literal physical place that was so great for us that it kept us high. Okay? What is this overhanging ledge of rock to shelter us compared with the mercy of the Most High that overshadowed us? Like, man, we're being protected even by the stone cold rock itself. Like, even our protection is raw. You know, like, that's deep right there. What is the soil like? So they're like, man, like, they are tripping. They having a hard time right now. Adam's like, yo, man, what is this junk? Yo, like, what is the soil of this cave compared with the garden land? This earth strewed with stones, and that planted with delicious fruit trees. You know, fruit, bearing fruit. You know. And Adam said to Eve, look at thine eyes and mine, which before beheld angels in heaven, or in the higher places, praising, and they too without ceasing. But now we do not see as we did. Our eyes have become of flesh lower. They cannot see in the manner as they saw before. This is what Eve said to Adam. Adam said again to Eve, what is our body today compared to what it was in former days when we dwelt in the garden? Now, again, like what that's confirming a difference in the body right there. Remember when it says that the Most High put skins on them? I personally don't think that it meant the animals, they were physically naked. I think it meant that they changed their look. They changed. Literally, they were in a different state of being. It says it right here. Let me keep reading. The Adam just literally said, what is our body today compared to what it was? After this, Adam did not like to enter the cave under the overhanging rock, nor would he ever have entered it. So he didn't like it. But he bowed to the Most High's orders and said to himself, unless I enter the cave, I shall again be a transgressor. He didn't want to enter the cave. Think about that, because he knows, he's like, man, what the heck? You got to think that, man, that right there was just letting you know all manner of destroyed. He like, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I don't want to mess up again. And I'm straight, because who knows what's going to happen if I mess up again. We're probably going to get turned into something. we going to get turned into that rock. Let's go to chapter 5. Chapter 5. Okay. Okay, and it says here, in which Eve makes a noble and emotional intercession, taking the blame on herself. This is deep right here. Check this. Then Adam and Eve entered the cave and stood praying in their own tongue, unknown to us, but which they knew well. I just said they weren't speaking the same thing to us. Different language. As they prayed, they weren't even speaking no Paleo Hebrew. They weren't even speaking no ancient. They were speaking whatever the first. Maybe they were grunting. I don't know. Maybe they were. Who knows, man? Who knows? But like it says, unknown to us, but they were doing it. Okay. As they prayed, Adam raised his eyes and saw the rock of the roof of the cave that covered him overhead, so that he could see neither heaven nor the Most High's creatures. So he wept and smote heavily upon his chest until he dropped and was as dead. So, and Eve sat weeping, for she believed he was dead. So I don't know, like if Adam, like what if he took a rock and started beating it into himself, like he wanted to die. I don't know. He was distraught. Then she arose, Eve, spread her hands towards the heaven, towards God. So I'm saying it's probably the heavens, the high. Meaning when she lifted her hands or she spread her hands, it was in that action was please, like, hear me, please. Right. So I don't know, like if it's this way or I don't know. It just says she stretched her hands out. Okay. So it says, begging him for mercy and pity, and said, "O God, forgive me my sin, the sin which I committed, and remember it not against me. For I alone caused your servant to fall from the garden to this lost estate, from light into this darkness, and from the abode of joy into this prison." States of beings, emotions, okay, right? Like you're hearing that, okay? Okay, so it says, "O God, look upon this, your servant, thus fallen," meaning look upon us, look upon Adam, Most High, the Spirit, the highest one, "and raise him from his death." She thought he was dead, "that he may weep and repent of his transgression, which he committed through me. Take not away his soul this once, but let him live, that I may stand after the measure of his repentance, and do thy will as before his death. But if you do not raise him up, then, O God, Take away my own soul, that I be like him, and leave me not in this dungeon one and alone, for I could not stand alone in this world, but with him only. That's deep, yo. For thou, O God, you did cause a slumber to come upon him, and did take a bone from his side, and did restore the flesh in place of it by thy divine power. So remember, Adam said his flesh was different. The flesh was different than what it was in the garden. So that bone or that piece could have been in a, who knows? But let's just keep reading, because this is confirming it here, right? If you believe this way, then this is confirming. It's all right. So, okay. But again, like I'm saying, if you look at it like this, you could literally take this and make it metaphorical and plug in for like higher and lower states of beinghood and heart and mind and spirit. You absolutely can. But again, like I said, because we're here and humans we are on the earth, and we got thrust upon the earth at some point, then you kind of got to probably just understand and think that at some point that Garden of Eden physically probably was the manifestation of the spirit of the creator right then and there, like making the creation where it started. It's remember at the beginning of the book at book 1 of Adam and Eve, it said on the 3rd day. That's when it mentions, right? So let's keep going. On the 3rd day is when the Garden of Eden was, that's when it appeared, like upon the earth. Okay. So she says what she says, you did take me from him. Okay. So she says, "O Lord, I and he are one," or Most High, I and he are one. You are our creator. You are who made us both in one day. Okay. Or in that one generation, or because if you're following, then you're paying attention. If you're paying attention, then you should be keeping up. So it's like, okay, when you made us at that same time. That's what she's saying. She says, "Therefore, give him life, that he may be with me in this strange land, while we dwell in it on account of our transgression. But if you will not give him life, then take me like him, that we may both die at the same time." And Eve wept bitterly and fell upon our father Adam for her great sorrow. It says same day, same time, right? Okay. Chapter 6, God's admonition to Adam and Eve, in which he points out how and why they sinned. Ooh, let's read. "But the Most High looked upon them, for they had killed themselves through great grief." So maybe they had like a heart attack, and their minds were like they had lost it. They were losing it. "But he would raise them and comfort them." He raised them and comfort them. And again, his vibration. So what is that saying? That's saying the power to say, you first humans ain't going nowhere. Get up. And you're going to walk this thing out. I know that is like so messed up. Like I said to you, man, that probably had to be extremely difficult for them to know where they just came from, what they were supposed to have been. They've experienced it. And then now they're experiencing the lower beinghood, the death of the higher beinghood, and they going through it. And I'm telling you right now, such is the walk with the spirit, or like with morality, the higher consciousness, if you will, however you want to say, that it's the same way. Go ahead and transgress and commit that thing that you know is already going to cause an issue. And when it presses down on you and you already knew that you had a great thing and you lost it, that junk will sit on you heavy. They are the beginning humans who had access to the higher beinghood of what a human was supposed to be. They experienced it. They experienced it. And then they had to not have it. That right there, that's why they probably were losing it. And just like the scripture says, they was killing themselves over great grief to the point to where they weren't even able to function, keep moving. So the Spirit has to come and raise them up like, yo, get up. All right, so he therefore sent this word unto them that they should stand and be raised forthwith, like get up. And the Most High said unto Adam and Eve. Now, this is the first time that you hear about them standing prostrate, standing up straight. I'm sorry. Standing, it says forthwith, raised forthwith, like get up. I don't know. And just like it says, they didn't even realize that they were treading upon the ground. You remember when it says that? And remember how Adam is saying, hey, we're in a different state now. Who knows what was really going on with them? Okay. How they were really moving. Like what I said, well, I think they were in the water. So I think they were just moving different. And then when they came upon the earth out of the water, they were moving different then. That's just how I feel. I don't know. The science, because I don't think I feel like men want to plug evolution in over the Most High, but I don't think evolution is against the plan of the Most. I don't think evolution is like one of them things where it's like you look at it and be like, oh, that is blasphemous. How? It's part of science, and that would be the Most High's equation, right? Like, what are we talking about? Men just be saying stuff. So I'm just keep reading. I'm gonna just keep reading. I mean, especially the ones who dominate and confuse cultures with their crap and their lies and their deceptions. So anyhow, okay, and the Most High, and the Lord, and the Most High said unto Adam and Eve, because again, Lord, man, they wouldn't have been saying Lord. That's the English, like what I said to you. So the Spirit, the God, the Most High, the highest one, the Creator, said to Adam and Eve, you transgressed, or you messed up, you sinned of your own free will until you came out of the garden in which I had placed you. Think about that. He's like, yo, you sinned then, but now you don't want to. Why did it take you losing the thing that you had to then now understand that you don't want to do it no more? That's crazy. It shouldn't take all that, but yet and still here you are, human. He said, you chose that junk, what you did. You didn't have to, your own free will, because I gave you the warning and you still did it. So what do you want from, like, what exactly are you tripping about? Get up. You're not going to be able to stay in this stagnant state. You're going to walk it out. That's it. Well, let's keep reading and see. So it says, of your own free will, you have transgressed through your desire. I'm sorry, hold on. You transgressed of your own free will until you came out of the garden in which I placed you. Of your own free will, you have transgressed through your desire for divinity, greatness, and an exalted state such as I have. That was the serpent. That was the serpent's issue. And, excuse me, like I said, I believe that serpent wanted to multiply himself as well, because then, the serpent felt like, if I could multiply myself, we could maybe take this thing over. That's why the serpent got cast down so tough with the curses, right? Or that lower being, okay, that once was higher than even the humans, still not higher than the Most High, but that envy. See, what does it say? Why would they have been doing that? Like, there were other beings around too that probably was on that too. That's why they got tricked by the other being. Eve got tricked by that being. Now, how did the trick happen? Was the being called around the tree talking to them in English? No. So let's keep pushing. So it says, you transgress through your desire for divinity, greatness, and an exalted state. They were already in an exalted state. They didn't even realize that they could be knocked down into a lower one. They weren't at where the Most High was. but perhaps there was something in them that knew like, oh, we want to do that. But it wasn't time for them to be trying to do all whatever. You stay in your lane. Now, this is what I made you to do. Let's figure out what you can do here. They didn't take those two trees. I believe that the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life was for them, and they were going to be taught. They were going to be trained, and then they were going to be, and once they understood, they were going to be allowed to have that, and that fruit would have definitely responded to them totally different, and it would have solidified that they would have definitely known right from wrong, and they wouldn't have chose it. Look, check this out. The higher ones, the spirit of the creator, the spirit and those elders, they knew better. They weren't going to transgress. They're the ones who put it there, so they definitely knew better. They're like, man, please, we know better. We ain't messing with that. We're not being tempted by that at all. We don't. In fact, it belongs to us. So, what reason did they have to make it wither when it was there for them to see? And if they were charged to see like how serious they're going to be about it, and then once they would have been obedient, it would have been a totally different thing. Hey, now come to these trees. I want to show you something, because now I see that you're great. Now I see that you're good. Now I see that you can get over, because there's this thing that's going to allow you to choose. It told them that. It told them even. It said, yo, you can do this, but don't do that. That lets you know right there you got a choice. And he says to them, out of your own free will, you transgress for your desire for divinity, greatness, and exalted state, such as I have. So I deprived you of the bright nature in which you then were, and I made you come out of the garden to this land, rough and full of trouble. If only you had not transgressed my commandment and had kept my law and had not eaten of the fruit of the tree, remember the knowledge of good and evil, so that you can feel like you got a choice. You ain't got no choice, human. Near which I told you not to come. And there were fruit trees in the garden better than that one. So why did you even mess with that? I told you not to mess with that. There you go, messing. But the wicked Satan, or the wicked being, who continued not in his first estate, nor kept his faith, in whom was no good intent towards me, and who, though I created him, yet set me at naught and sought the Godhead, so that I hurled him down from heaven, or the high place that he was at. From heaven. I'm sorry. This is a typo. So it says it is he who made the tree appear pleasant in your eyes until you ate of it by hearkening to him. That right there. He did not continue in his first estate, meaning where he originally was. So what did that serpent knew that they still were going to be able to have that spirit of choice. And like he said, he didn't even stay in his exalted state. So you got to think, why would the Most High been making the humans? Probably because that being went left. So they wanted to see like, okay, what happened? Let's try again. Let's figure this thing out. And then here he comes. They create the humans. They see that the humans are good. They're like, okay, good. We should be able to figure this thing out. Hey, this time, let's warn them and tell them ABC 1, 2, 3. See what happens, because maybe with that serpent, or maybe with that Satan, or maybe with that deceiver, that being that deceives, so it's to be called Satan or the serpent or the devil. So you understand, perhaps, that one, he had already done the same thing. I think that's the point I was trying to make. So then here he comes and he's tricking, because that's the energy of him. So he influenced the new creation, which was a babe, literally brand new. And then here he comes with his weird lies and deception trying to spread his crap. That is the devil in the flesh. Devils in the flesh do that. Like I always talk about these grown men, grown women who are walking around teaching young people how to do foul things, and then young people end up their trajectories change because they come in contact with a straight up grown devil, deceiver. This person ain't even old enough to even understand what's truly going on, and here you come with your foul breathing stank ugly self. Man, get left. Move out the way. Yeah, that's what he told that serpent. And and but it just goes to show you how graceful the spirit is, because why he ain't destroy that thing? Get rid of him. But then, hey, I'm not the creator of it. So you know what? I don't have any children, but I've worked with kids for a long time. There's new kids popping up in my family all the time. I'm an uncle. That's just like my point. What was yeah, forget it. I'm not even gonna make the point because I don't even freaking remember the point. So it must not be meant for me to say it. But it was something hinging with new children. But whatever, man. Whatever I was gonna say. Anytime that happens, I just feel like the Most High wants me to push for it, so I'm gonna push for it. Okay. So he sought the Godhead. I hurled him from heaven. Okay, we read that already. Thus you have transgressed my commandment, and therefore have I brought upon you all these sorrows. For I am the creator who, when I created my creatures, did not intend to destroy them. Okay, so that's why he's not destroying them. That's why. Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say. It's just like new children, and you get that one kid that's like, they are really wilding, and it's like not like none of the other kids, and you just be looking at them like, boy, what the heck, girl, what's wrong with you? Boy, what's wrong with you? They're not going to, why would, as frustrated as that child makes them, they're never going to think like, man, I'm about to get you up out of here. I'm about to choke you to death. So we got to think that's why the creator probably didn't just straight up boot that serpent right then and there. Like I'd be always like, man, you should have just and threw that mug into the sun or something. You could do it, slingshot him into the sun. Like, why you gonna let him keep being around here? In fact, why didn't you give the humans another chance and then really get at him? Because he says the serpent had already been tripping before the humans was tripping. That's why he was swimming around lying on some deceptive junk. Right? Yeah, it's interesting stuff. He says, for I didn't intend to destroy my creation or my creature. Well, I didn't intend to, even though they messed up. I don't want to destroy them. That's definitely the spirit of the Most High, because that would be opposite of the spirit of destruction. So if we say God is the spirit of life, then the devil is the spirit of destruction. That's the opposite of the spirit of destruction. So of course he don't delight in seeing the beings be destroyed, but at the same time, there are scriptures that affirm, hey, grace, 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 grace. But when that grace run out, it's time for judgment, and you kept ignoring me, I'm not gonna have any qualms with smacking your tail up off the earth. Bye, we'll see you. That's scriptural. And it is. It's in Apocrypha, it's in the scriptures, it's in there. All right, so but after they had sorely roused my anger, these creatures, I punished them with grievous plagues until they repent. You're going to get punished. But if on the contrary, they still continue hardened in their transgression, they shall be under a curse forever. What I just said, man, that's the spirit confirming what I just said. And then we're going to end here. And this is chapter 6, chapter 7 to be next. So real fast, the spirit just confirmed what I just said. Like, look, if you keep on going and then I'm really going to give it to you and I ain't, then what? because the intelligible part of you knows morality is the way to go. And soon as you start fighting against morality, when you're real with yourself, that's when life starts going haywire. Think about it. Every time you get out here and you make the wrong decisions, you get to doing things and just flip-flopping and trying to find peace in tumultuous turmoil in your life. It never works. Be honest with yourself. It never works. You know, somebody told me one day, like, and I needed to hear it, and it really meant a lot. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool yourself. Stop lying, bro. Like, be honest. Like, stop playing. Be straight up, be for real, and come on now. Morality, we're talking about it here. I don't understand why the books of Adam and Eve are not part of the scriptures. You hear what it's saying? And like I always said and maintain from a young person, how can they have all that information and then they don't have no more information about when they exited from the point to where they died, like between when they died, that's it? We don't have none of the testaments of the original 12 sons, which I have, which I'm going to read all of it. But I actually end up finding it. They lied to us about it. They kept it away from us. But now here we are presenting these things, and they can't stop it. Ain't going to be no anti-Semitic thing happening no more, because look who's in office right now. The Spirit of the Most High orchestrates things and allows them to be how they need to be so the prophecies can move forward unhinged, untethered, unbiased, So again, this vlog is not to appropriate someone's confusion. Well, yeah, no, this vlog is not to debate. I'm sure at some point there's going to be some mindset, some angle, some ideology or whatever that I have that somebody's going to come in here trying to argue, and they're going to be trying to put me into debates. Oh, who gave you power to say this, that, and the third? Because like there's certain like Black Hebrew Israelite camps who feel like they have this very wrong, and even the spirit in me is grieved by it, so I know that it grieves the spirit. They have this mindset that like that the Most High is going to destroy everything but the Hebrews, and because all these nations did so much messed up stuff, yeah, the Most High is going to destroy a lot. The Hebrews or the Israelites, the ones who have that DNA in them right now, the Spirit knows they have, and the ones who are higher in that, they have a very special place that's going to be happening in this, both now and in this present near coming future very soon. Like I said about them elects and things, but in Revelation, in Isaiah chapter 56, and all over the scriptures, it talks about the fact, Daniel, Isaiah, Jeremiah, it talks about the fact that there's going to be multiple ethnicities, many peoples, many nations, many tongues, many tribes who gather there under the power of the highest one, following the rules and the decrees and the laws, which means that, well, you would have to be paying attention to who's at the top of that in the humans is the Israelites, the Hebrews. So they're going to be the ones who are kind of going to lead these things, but the Spirit is going to be leading them. And this is where my issue kind of comes in with the with the Black Hebrew Israel, the BHI camps, because it's like there's so much different division between them. It's like, hey, which one of y'all is speaking for the Most High for real? Because, yeah, when y'all talk about the scriptures, even at certain points, you're saying things and you're appropriating things that just like what the Caucasian church does in the countries in different media places, where they get to deceiving and just making things, taking things out of context and supporting their own angle with it, because that's the popular angle. Like, again, these BHI camps, some of them, they're so angry. And they're so bitter. And when you hear them, they're so excited to speak out on the scriptures that talks about the Most High destroying Israel's enemies and the whole earth flooding and burning and all this. And yeah, it's already happening. It's already happening or not the whole earth, but like places all over the earth and like all these 2/3 and all these different things and prophecies. It's happening. But is that, yeah, it's because of what happened to the chosen ones, but it's also because of literal human sin that even deeper than the promises to the chosen ones is, hey, you human beings, I made all y'all, not just the ones who I made the promise with. But I definitely made that promise. And because I made that promise with them, this thing centered around the scriptures and the Apocrypha has heavy to do with them because they're the ones who transcribed it all. But when you deal with the prophets in there, who even the people used to be frustrated with, Yeshua was with one of them, man. His own people was one part of the reason he was martyred. Not murdered, but martyred, assassinated. Come on, man. What are we talking about? So like what I said, current times, you still got these BHI camps who are saying things and they're spitting things out their mouth and they saying stuff and it's confusion. So I'm watching them close to see like which one comes out as the forefront to really be the voice of the Most High as far as those camps go. I ain't seen one yet. There's a lot of people who follow there because it's like, oh, it's pro-black and it feels good, and we're gonna be talking about how God's gonna be burning up everything, and we're gonna just walk through, and then and some of them are taking things out of context and confusing people, just like the white church did in America. Yeah, whatever it is, what it is. They don't. Some of them would never. They don't like that. They gonna feel some type of way about that. I'm not arguing with them. I'm done arguing with them. I'm done arguing with them. And every time I have to argue with them, I have to use the scriptures to show them where they're wrong. And they still don't ever want to listen. Then they want to use the scriptures back. And then the spirit reminds me, hey son, this is a sword to deal with the sin and the evil and the decay, and to definitely show them the proper way. But you're not about to stand up here arguing and using my word as a sword. What you're gonna do is do it the way I told you to do it, and you're gonna keep it bouncing, keep it pushing. Because I was gonna join one of them camps heavy, and the Most High said, nope, no you're not. I got you right here for right now, for like on some Isaiah, Jeremiah, Jonah, like you're out. Yeah, you gonna move with my spirit and my people gonna move with my spirit, but I want you over here because I need to be able to get in contact with you all the time. I don't want you having to be dealing with some body telling you that ain't what God said because they ain't heard it, or they have this other thing going on that there's agenda. My son, I got you over here. That's where I want you at. So am I Black Hebrew Israelite? No. As far as it comes down to like the BHI camps and things, no. Do I believe that I have Hebrew DNA? Yes. Do I follow the spirit of the Most High? Absolutely. Do I believe in the scriptures, the sources that the spirit allows me to understand is him? Absolutely. Do I call myself a Christian? No. A lot of people really don't like that now. And in America, then that's when America gonna get on your neck. Black Hebrew Israelites, you can't appease them. You can't appease the American. You can't appease anybody. Who do you appease? The Most High. Like I always tell people, you got some sort of problem with me. You got some sort of problem with I say, take it up with the Most High. Because I'm telling you right now, look, take it up with the Most High, pray about it. And then I believe in the Most High so much to the point where if you pray about it and I'm wrong, he gonna shut me down. I ain't gonna be to say it no more, right? Take it up with the Most High. That's what I'm gonna do about you. If you get to tripping on me, and get to trying to listen. I just told somebody earlier today that was like trying to go in with me on some comments. I said, bro, listen, you do not want to be on the other side of the fire that's in me. You go ahead and do that and try and do that. I'm going to give some grace. I'm going to bow out. Keep on going, bro. I don't even have to say nothing to you. The spirit in me is going to see what you're doing and what you're saying. You're trying to embarrass yourself, bro. You're going to end up catching karma down on your head. I'm not the one you want to be doing that with. I give people the warning because it's fair for me to do. And the spirit usually will tell me, hey, warn them. I'm being serious. And that's not me using. I'm not like the one to be like, oh, I'll use this against you. Nope. Anyhow, chapter 7 is coming up. This was I think I just did chapter 4, 5, and 6. Yep. So chapter 7 through 10 will be next. Y'all hit that subscription button, hit the notification bell. The books of Adam and Eve will be it will be multiple chapters in one video. So you're going to need to keep up with these videos. We're dealing with multiple chapters here, not just one. So don't let it confuse you. And when I put them up, I will definitely be sure to label them so you can know it is going to be in order And you can go through, and these words that I just read them, you're reading the books of Adam and Eve now. Y'all be blessed. Peace, man.